What a lovely afternoon we have in store for all you pot pickers at home. It's Tuesday, the day after bank holiday, and imagine you're a bit cloudy, feeling slightly under the weather. The sun has gone away, but we have in store for you Kevin, and hang on about this, Roman. It's like little and large, hand and deck.
Which one's deck?
And deck.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, deckhand.
I don't know them well enough. Okay.
It's a British thing, right?
Yeah,
no British.
definitely.
Mate, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time. It's been a lifetime.
It's been a lifetime.
For some.
When did we do the last one with Kevin?
Well, I was looking and he was number 7.
Number 7.
Yeah.
So
I think
60 episodes ago.
No, it's more than that.
60?
Yeah, we've done like 70, man. Well, we've gone to seasons now. We did a whole thing. We did 60 episodes, and then we were like, do you know what we should do? Seasons.
That's logical.
So that's season 1, 60 episodes.
I like seasons. I like a series.
it's much more practical, right?
It is.
Easier
Life
to
gets in the
manage.
way.
Yeah, manage. That's life.
So tell me, Kevin,
Yeah.
where have you been? What have you been up to?
I kind of moved to Wales, Newport, and that kind of took over life for more or less 3 years. So it was like that, teaching, touring with the streets, and that was my life. So now, but still writing, still creating, recording, always. So I guess this is kind of like found a resurgence of self now, like this month in particular.
This month in particular, huh?
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It feels really, really relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is it difficult to be one moment, Kevin from the streets, and then one moment, Kevin, the solo artist? Like, is there conflict between the two?
I live in many universes. I say that with no joke, as we all do.
Yeah, totally. Right?
Like brother, sister, it's brother, definitely.
You could be a sister.
Brother, father, musician, mentor. I work with neurodiverse young people. A place called Make It Mentoring in Bristol. And I love that. That job is like, I wake up in the morning and I'm cool to go to work. I come home and I'm happy I've come home. And that's a lot. I've done many jobs in between, but for me to feel that way about something that is not music, it is creative, feels like a blessing. And then, I've also been studying a master's. That's what I've been doing. I've just completed my not just completed, my first year of music therapy. And I took a year out because we were touring and I couldn't balance the two, so I forgot about that. So mentoring when the streets hasn't been busy and I've not been doing DIY, I've been mentoring, which is, I'm blessed. I don't have many days. We all have our days, but when I do a aerial scan of life, I'm like, yo,
It's good.
You're okay. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
You said that Romy had got you into photography as well.
Yeah, well, this man, I've always kind of like, this is my brother. We actually share the same birthday.
That's true.
You did?
Yeah, and I guess, I guess with music, with all of it, like I was a singer, I never wanted to produce, but I had to produce because the people around me weren't necessarily on the same vibe or on the same trajectory or reliable. And then photography kind of took that same way. We've done a lot of stuff over the years. But just due to budget, it was like, I need to be able to do this myself. Especially, you get favors from your friends, but you don't want to always keep calling them. I'm not that kind of man. I like to pay, or respect someone's talent. So I got a camera, and some video cameras, and like when I'm away traveling, I film. It's maybe not the perfect filming, and I can edit to a degree and just capture a vibe of what I feel and see, and it's something that I love, and I now love it. I I also did a course, a friend of mine called Mikas, who you haven't met yet, who you all haven't met yet, you should meet. He teaches film as well, also a producer and actually we've done an album together that's going to come out as well, probably later in the year. As I talk, I'm remembering things I've done. So yeah, and he was in my band actually when I was signed to EMI Records. So yeah, you're very similar. You're probably all very similar. He's like a mad scientist. But he taught me organization, and definitely definitely placement in terms of a screen and the different dimensions, composition. Thank you. There you go. I don't know the names for nothing.
Now, do you know what's interesting is not everything is transferable, right? Sometimes you can be creative a certain way, and then you go into a new discipline. It's like it's not quite as comfortable. But what's interesting with Kevin is he's always had a bit of a vision, regardless of what he does. I think this is a conversation we were having about vision earlier as well. And what was very interesting with you is that you took it as a tool. So he didn't get, he didn't let himself get stopped by the fact that he didn't really know how to use the camera. He just, he just recorded stuff, and we had conversations. And that's why he was able to do it on his own, I think.
But that's the best way, though, isn't it? Like, if I
kind of work out the tools as you go along.
You know me, and you're right for composition. He's been in my ear my entire life going, Paul, your angles are not straight. Those lines, Paul.
Oh, God.
Be like, straight. Oh, don't. But be purposeful about it. Yeah.
Yeah, intent, right? Romantic.
Intent.
I love him because it's straight.
Yes.
There's no
There's
left
no
or right.
talk,
It's like...
right?
Straight, direct, whether you like it or not. You just got it's done with love.
I've been in meetings with him in like with clients, and I'm like kicking him to shut up talking. like shut up, Roman. Stop.
But I think it's good. It helps. Like we all need a old man in our lives to.
Yeah.
I think if you can be respectful, like there's no reason why you can't say.
But it always comes from a place of love.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Yes, but I think sometimes it takes a while to know somebody, and sometimes he can, if you don't know Roman, for instance, and
then you're going to get to know.
You're going to get to know.
Yes, and he gives you his, direct, beautiful self.
Yes.
Sometimes some people might find that difficult, right? And I think the thing that I notice about him now is that he's much more laissez-faire, as they say in France. He's let life almost mold him to this almost softer.
You get older and you care about some of the things less.
Yes, exactly. You mature, right?
You kind of settle into something that feels like you a bit.
And I'm not sure if it's you care less. Is that I think you realise that there's some battles worth fighting and others not, right? Like
that's true. When I came to the UK 20 years ago, I think culturally I wasn't on point. Like I didn't really understand things. It took me a while. And
a long time.
Revolutionaries. French, man. Revolutionaries.
And I learned to navigate the UK sort of in my own way, right? And I think, some people don't like it, and also some people like it. Like I think at the end of the day, regardless of what you do, there are people who will like you, people who will not like you, people who feel you. Do you know what I mean?
But you find your tribe.
Exactly. And I think coming from this idea of intent, right? Coming from a good place for people you care about, and it doesn't really matter what the outcome is. At the end of the day, the process is what matters really. Then the result can be like really quite interesting. So I will have those conversations sometimes and say things out loud. Like I'm aware. I don't mean to, but I'm aware that's part of what I do.
It's interesting, you go through life and the certain people you meet at certain points in your life. And, we meet all sorts of people, right? We've met hundreds of people living in London. You're meeting people, you're touring, like you're meeting people all the time. But there's certain people that you create a connection with. It's hard to use language to describe what that connection is. It's almost... spiritual soul, whatever you want to call it, but it's an energy that exists between two people, an invisible energy, which sounds wanky, but it does, that makes you like that person and want to spend time,
especially over time. I think
like
if you give the chance to someone, see them more than once, you tend to find out things that you wouldn't otherwise, right? You're like
I mean, I consider that home, that's the one thing touring. You miss out on day-to-day activities. You know, I so value, like, because I live in Wales now. We were rehearsing near kind of in between Islington and Camden on that strip. I think it's called Camden Road. I can't remember the rehearsal studios, but there's two guys there, and they are like
Tight.
beautiful. They're both Italian, I believe. You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about if they're watching this or if they see this. But it was nice to go to the same cafe every morning, and then after like maybe the third time you've been there, they're like, "Hi," you know. There's a rapport that builds, and that's home. Like I've had to find home in people that you meet and places that you're so far away, but anyone who makes me feel welcome or loved or settled in my way, that's where I'm meant to be, you know. And I think it's that connection. You both made me think about that. It's like, who can you not be around and not think and not, you know, be, I don't know, not necessarily performative, but life is that, you know, in some ways. Yeah.
There are definitely people, right? I'm surrounded by them all the time. The people that make you feel better about your day.
Yeah, bro.
It's important to surround yourself with people like that.
Definitely.
I think so. I think so.
Interesting. It's really interesting. So tell us what you've been up to then. Tell us about life.
What are you working on at the minute?
Working on instant now. I'm currently just really working on is short videos that relate to an album that I'm about to release on the 15th of May, called Home. So what we were talking about, kind of
nice link. That's
yeah.
We didn't plan that.
No, we didn't. None of this is planned. I
But I
came
mean,
here
like,
and walked in.
you've been thinking about it a lot recently, right? You can tell.
Yeah, oh man, it's been a last. I've always been thinking about it, and I guess it's kind of caught up with me over now because I feel like I'm suddenly at home in Newport, and I can slow down a bit. But also, people and traveling, and you know, I have a daughter. She lives in Australia, and she's definitely the biggest signifier of home on the planet, or anywhere in the universe for me. And just feeling like you have a space where you can be who you want to be, and you know where everything is, and kind of that journey, staying in Airbnbs and hotels, and you know, no matter how nice they are, it's like I like my things. I like to leave a mess if I want to leave a mess and come back and clean it up, or just sometimes walking down the same streets, like finding in Newport there's a place called Tickle Trout, which I go to, and I know everybody, you know, and it's like finding your little spots. But the album, let's get back to the album. Yeah, I've written a lot of it over the years. I write a lot. And I guess piecing things together, that's what kind of screamed out to me. And so, the album's called Home. So it's literally going to be released on 15th. I've got a gig on the 23rd of May. A small place, you know, in Wood Green. Again, that makes me feel at home, called Caramel Cafe. Just got a band together, had a rehearsal yesterday. One of the guys in the band I used to go to school with, you know, a year above me, but happens to play with Misha Paris and Shaggy and different people. Mark, big up. So he got the band together for me. And again, it's like being in different rehearsals with different people, you know, it's and because of music therapy, it's more become about the experience and the sharing and not being so caught up in exactly how it needs to sound, but more about what everybody brings to the session. So I guess I'm just trying to create home. So these musicians, you know, who are better than me can feel brave enough to say, yo, Kev, you need to do this. Because of the mentality in the music industry that the artist is king, you know, or God, and you don't want to offend the artist, and you don't want to do this, and you don't do that. And I'm like, nah. We're all on the same page in this room, you know, and just making everyone feel at home and at peace. And then you get the best thing. You get the best thing out of everybody. So, just I guess reevaluating life and music, but basically in gratitude and very thankful and more at peace than I've been in my life ever. So that's where I'm at. So creating, I want to create and share.
Yeah.
Find more of my tribe. You know, that's what I'm on really in this life. Yeah.
Something I found very interesting, we were talking about it a little bit before Kevin arrived, is that I was saying to them that you're one of the people, when I met you, I realized very quickly that you're very, very prolific. You're a doer.
Yeah.
You're not someone who will do nothing. You're always doing something, or you're thinking about something, you're developing something. There's always something going on in your mind that you need to sort of push out, right?
Yeah.
And it's always been through creativity.
Yeah.
And I think when you produce so much, and I think, Paul, you're the same. You produce a lot as well. You produce a lot of output. It can be a little bit difficult to kind of find your way in what you've created and what are the, you know, the sort of central themes, or whether it's a musical style or way of writing or singing or whatever else you could think of. And I've found it very interesting over the years how you gravitate around essentially quite a variety of genres. And do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think
in relation to the new album as well?
Yeah, I've had a blessed and weird creative life. And I think like I've always created from here, you know, and I guess like studying music therapy and also being in the industry at almost 2 levels, you know, or more than 2 levels.
Definitely more than 2 levels.
The streets, like there, like thousands of people. Then my stuff is kind of underground, really, and then guesting as a vocalist on other people's tracks, and then doing function corporate gigs and weddings, you know, over the course of life, and other, you know, like youth work, like songwriting workshops in prisons, in schools, in colleges, and you know, universities, drama schools. It kind of, I don't know, it's like
they all teach you something.
They all teach you something, and all of these people are valid. Or I don't walk into situations and feel like there's no separate. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn, and you're gonna grow. And I guess I kind of strayed from what you were asking me, but it's stories. So I guess that's what's happened. Is like my music is stories. Not to say you can't write that specific thing, and it's worlds. So I service the song, and that song might be in this world, which might be a bit reggae or might be a bit electronic. And then afterwards I've had to make sense of it. But it's a reflection of people I've met, or stories, or I guess working with musical theatre students at Lambda and also WAC Arts back in the day made me realise that I like to create worlds. And that's how I think about things. And like, where is that person? What's happening around them? And then that,
like paying tribute to the different things that move you, right?
Yeah. Or even spaces.
Like texture.
Yeah, texture. Or being in you're in a cave, or you're in a space, and then trying to create that space for somebody else, or hearing someone's story. Like I worked with a choir in New Zealand, in a small town called Te Aroha, where my music teacher is from, and just talking to the old people there and hearing their stories, I'm like, yo, this is amazing. And I think that's what inspires me most, is stories and people. So yeah, that's why I think it's hard for me to, I think creating a lot then helps me piece where it is. It's a blessing and a curse, I find, because then you're like, what do I do with this? But now I'm like, I think I'm braver now. I think I'm like, I care less about it, and it just needs to come out. It needs to come out now.
That's a real superpower. Getting to the point where you don't give a fuck, like, is the most beautiful thing, because you're not there trying to impress anybody. Then you're just doing
irrelevant of it, right? You drop this out into the world, and there's going to be. It's the same thing with photography. You drop it out into the world, and when I made my first book, you have all these preconceptions of what people are going to think about it, or how they're going to receive it, and all of those, as soon as it's out in the world, go to the wayside, because people will come to you and say, oh, this is amazing, you know, or this is great, or what this means something to me. And you never even thought of that, right? It's never even entered your mind that could bring this person, because we all receive in different ways how we're absorbing the information, and what mood we're in. You know, did we have an argument with our wife the night before? Did my daughter piss me off? Like, and then how and when and what, I think it all matters, right?
Art finds you in a space, right? It finds the audience in a space.
Yeah,
and the space you're in as an audience, as a viewer or a listener or whatever, I think that it carries a weight, and it does. You're right. It totally shifts your perception of a thing.
It's really interesting. What was that quote about music being?
Oh, all art aspires to be music, because music moves us in a different way to any other art.
That's interesting.
What do we think?
It's true though. Like, when's the last time you looked at a photo and cried? Romy, come on, think.
And not a family photo, right? Not
it would take a certain emotional space for you to get there. Right. Whereas definitely with music, I could be in the best of mood and have
it can
a song that touches me and have a tear and feel like, wow, that was a moment, and then reintegrate the real world.
It moves us in a way
absolutely
that barely any other. I think film can do it.
Yeah,
I think film can do it.
Love Actually, you know.
Film is one too.
Yeah, film is one, but I think music does it in a non-visual way so powerfully, right?
But it's been doing it since like the dawn of time as well. Like that's the wild thing about it. You think there's people have worked out how to entertain themselves and other people with these noises. It's the fucking weirdest thing.
And tones, like you're doing music therapy. Tell us about this. Go on, open up.
I'm a student, like so. But I guess what it's given me is, I guess, a little bit more of an understanding of the neurodiverse world. And I feel like we grow up and I feel like the world as it is does not cater enough for neurodiverse people. And I guess when you're younger, you realize that there's a difference maybe in somebody else, which is apparent, the way they talk or the way they move through the world. And I think now I'm happy to see that we're becoming more aware and accepting. I think there's still a way to go of people accepting, like, people are different. They are different. They're not inferior, you know, they are different. And so they need different mechanisms or different ways to communicate or different ways to express themselves or to feel comfortable. And I guess that's made me look at myself and accept certain things about myself, and also recognize that in other people around me, and be more demanding of who and who I have in my life and how. And also my own routines a little bit more, what works for me. But I guess also being in a space where, like with my cohort, where you're creating music and interacting with each other for no other reason than to exchange. Like, music industry is like, you need to make money. You need to sound like this. You need to sit in a certain box. You have to have a certain genre. You have to
follow a trend.
You
have to put yourself out there on social media.
Yeah. What about being?
Yeah.
What about sitting in a room, kind of like what we're doing now, and just having a chat with music? You know, it's all right. Having a chat with music. And also, like, hearing stories about how, I guess they'd be clients, how my teachers have interacted with or changed the lives of other neurodiverse people, and also the importance of environment, the importance of any support workers that they may have, like their family or people, mentors or people that work with them, and having a rounded picture of someone's life, and them being the focus, taking it away from you. Like, musician, you're the artist, you're the most important person in the room. Like, no, this other person is more important, and experience is more important. And that's taken, I don't know, it's taught me. It's made me think about not making myself the focus, or how, am I narcissistic? Am I, it makes you question a lot of things. And I think that has been a gift, not taking it so seriously, just letting it, as you said, unfold or see what it brings to you, and not necessarily success, what is deemed as success. It's brought about all these questions that I'm still living, but it's brought more peace. Yeah.
You can hear it. You can hear it in your voice.
Okay.
Sound like a Buddhist monk right now.
Yeah. You're the monk. Kev the monk from now on, right?
Maybe one day, find me on the mountain. Listen, meditation, yes.
Have you ever fancied doing a silent retreat? I thought about this.
Yes, Vipassana. There's one called Vipassana.
Okay, you're doing.
I want to do it. I've signed up to do it. It's around the world, so you can kind of like go, I think, for 10 days or longer, and you're silent.
I like the idea of that, man. Oh my God, that really
I think people
appeals to
think
me.
it might be easy though, and I don't think
It
it's
would
that
be
easy.
so hard. Oh my God.
Yeah, but I love the idea of that. Like
You would
speaking
why?
to
Why?
no one.
You would kick the fuck off.
Because life is chaos, right? I got two
Yeah, but
children.
you're the
I've got
most
a wife.
talkative of all of us. Like you can.
Yeah, but that's why I like I'm quite introverted as well, though. I like Kevin. Like I can be in a space and be fun, but I like my quiet space where it takes you. You know, I like sometimes like. You know, I told you about my daughter. So my daughter had a friend over on the weekend, right? Yeah. And I was sat in the living room, and she came in. She goes, "Oh, Dad, can Blaze stay over tonight?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, right?" Because her mate was right next to me, and I felt awkward saying no. right.
Real life.
And then my wife walks through the door.
You got peer pressured.
No, yeah, exactly. And my wife walks through the door, and she goes, Rosa goes to Ali, "Oh, Dad said it's okay for Blaze to stay tonight. Is it okay with you, Mummy?" And she goes, "Yeah." Right. And I was like,
wow.
But then afterwards, all evening, I was like, "Oh, I'm so angry with myself. I've been manipulated." It's amazing. It's like rage. And I think, you know, I like 9 times out of 10, you absolutely can have your mate, but I need a little bit of a run in.
Have you
know?
Have you ever had a meditation practice? Have you really?
I tried, but do you know what it does to me? It's a bit like drinking too much beer. I get a bit dizzy with it.
Right.
I feel like I'm.
But the answer is more. The answer is not less. It's more.
Well, I feel that everything
More
starts to
meditation.
spin.
He sounds like he knows what he's doing.
So I've been really bad recently,
Okay.
but like there was a point where my mental health wasn't amazing, and it helped me a lot. So I spent a lot of time meditating. Like there was a certain point in my life where I was doing it for like, not like I wasn't fucking a Buddhist monk or anything, but I was doing about 30 minutes every morning before I do anything else.
Yeah.
You see, but this is my point why I do photography, because it is therapy. It is a space.
It's cathartic.
Where music, it's the same.
Yeah.
We're getting it out, right? We're processing the world.
What it does, this is the same thing that meditation does, is it allows you to tune into yourself and tune out the shit that's happening over here. So you notice, oh, I feel this way. What's that feel like? And then you're examining that, and that is meditation.
And that's, I actually believe that when I'm out on the street with my camera, I'm meditating in a way.
I believe it too.
Like I'm in this
I think
space.
a big part of meditation is what do you call it? Within yourself, right? The
internal conversation you're having.
looking within. The idea of looking within.
That's what Vipassana is, right? It's the.
I haven't been, so I couldn't tell you, but I definitely have had the same experience
was the word.
as you.
Introspection,
in terms of
yeah.
meditation.
Introspection.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's there are.
Are you supposed
I've
to be
only
able
ever
to, hang on,
experienced
Are you
it.
supposed to be able to talk at some point in the day, or is it like a 24/7?
No.
everywhere,
You are
whether
like
you're on your
somebody
own or
brings
not,
you
or-
food to a place and then you go to that. You have no contact, and it's for an extended period of time.
And what do you do while you're there? You have to follow
Nothing.
things.
So you will have
bring your own book. What do you do?
No. You're not reading books. You're being
Thinking
with
about
yourself.
yourself.
Yeah.
You're allowing yourself to be bored, which is something we are fucking terrible at.
Right. So
now.
it's a place where you go and you don't speak and you don't do anything.
You don't speak.
No.
So it's meditation in
You just
some form or
meditate.
other.
Yeah, you meditate.
But isn't that the same as walking? You know, you go on a long
Not
walk.
quite, because like when you walk, sometimes you're thinking,
Oh, yeah, you're
what am I
taking
going to have for
inputs.
dinner?
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Like, so the difference with meditation, if you're like, let's take meditative walking, right, which is a thing.
Yes.
And
it is.
everybody that's interested in this should go download the Waking Up app or Oak. They're both pretty good. Headspace is pretty cool. I struggled with a little bit of Headspace,
Okay.
but like
I liked
Waking
it.
Up
I
has
liked
been really good.
Headspace. I thought it was quite good.
It was cool
for guided meditation.
Anything that's going to get you into this is going to do you a lot of favors.
Hmm.
But like if you was to take a meditative walk, you're not getting lost in what you're going to eat for dinner that night or how achy your legs are. What you're doing is you're noticing those thought patterns. So you're going, oh, I'm thinking about dinner tonight.
You see,
I'm thinking about how achy my legs are. I can smell this tree that I've just walked past.
you get a notification on your phone or something, right?
Right.
Yeah. It interrupts that space.
You're noticing the things you're noticing. And that kind of backing up one level, because most of the time we feel like we're walking around, like we're driving a machine, that we're a brain in a head operating a car, right? And the reality is actually really, really weird. We're like a cloud of ideas that sits within a brain. And there's all these
neurons firing,
right, but these distinct things happening all the time. And we don't really take a lot of time to try and focus in on what it is that's kind of not driving the car, but like, what is this thing that I call I? And the more time you spend doing it, you have these weird fractions of a second where that dissolves completely and you're not an I. You are the cloud of ideas. You are the sensation of your back right now on the chair. You are the
wind in
the wind in my beard.
Yeah.
But how do you get into that state?
But just through focusing.
But what I was going to say is, I think what's interesting about the Headspace app, for example, that you talked about, is when you have I think there's a difference between meditation and guided meditation, right? Like I think someone who's never done meditation, who gets to do guided meditation like these apps offer, and really play the game and assume, okay, this is the way, I'll just actually try it and be sort of serious about it for a minute. They get something out of it. They get like a beginning of an understanding as to what the process is. That's a little bit more concrete than having to sort of work it out for yourself. And this is why I was talking about introspection, because I think there's a moment where you realize you're just sort of looking within, and there are these little things, the little tricks that you can use to bring your mind back to sort of where you're trying to stay.
Right? It's not like driving a car where you can be in the passenger seat and you can see what's going wrong. And
but I think in everyday life we do that,
right?
We get into the passenger seat of our own. Like you walk down the street, you're thinking about all these things, you don't even remember passing by things, and then you're home, and then you're like, oh right, that's what I was going to do. You know, this half hour or 10 minutes or however much of walking has disappeared. Right? There's going to be nothing left in your day of that moment, because you were somehow, somewhere at the same time, somewhere else.
Think how fragmented your memory is just about yesterday for a minute, right? Like if I asked you to recall what you did yesterday, you could give me maybe a pretty good picture of what you did. But let me say, like this a week ago yesterday, right? We pretty much, we live in the present, right? We're living in this space right now, right where we are. There isn't really a past and there isn't really a future. And this is it, right? This is, if you were going to, you know, where we are. And when you like think about things that happened in the past, and when I look at photos from the past, like it's a fragmented, like my brain might remember taking the picture, but it won't remember how it smelled or whether, what you know.
I think you could argue for the fact that it also happens that you have the exact opposite, where you do remember the smell and you.
But does music? I think music does that. Like, you know, you can play
it's so much more pointed with music,
right?
I think music forces you to kind of. There's an element of time with music that you have to give it. You can't just. You can listen to things in the background,
you're totally
but this is not quite the same. Right. I think if you want to look at a photo book, you might give it a minute and you'll flick through. But each piece will have a few seconds and be very much more of a snap judgment. But you listen to music,
and it forces you.
And there's a build up of some sort. It takes you somewhere out of somewhere. It's
but you have to experience it on its terms.
You have to give it the time.
I'd agree with you. And even with meditation, what I've found, because I've created like meditation playlists and stuff. And followed and done, have meditations where there are no one, not guided, so you've just got someone like, well, just sounds or nature or a certain frequency, which I'm really intrigued about, like how frequency is used in well-being. But definitely during COVID, I started going for walks and listening to meditation stuff, and it was like I just went on Spotify and did a dug deep. I found, I think. For me, it was like finding a voice that resonated with me, or a belief system, or imagery, and that helped me get into it. And I guess now I'm gonna share. It's now led me to create I have a playlist which is called my everyday playlist. And there's an amalgamation of stuff, and it's very grounding, and there's music on it as well. That wherever I am in the world, if I'm not feeling good, I put on my everyday playlist, and there's a consistent order to it, put on shuffle, but it brings me into the present moment. It's like an anchor. And the same with meditation. I have morning meditations, evening, certain moods, if I'm affirmation, because I feel like it's an important part of my life. I feel like music is like it. There's certain tunes that just like make me feel grounded or home. Certain sounds.
What makes you feel like? Give me a tune that makes you feel like home.
There's one. I couldn't see. This is Spotify. I'm gonna blame.
You can tell me after as well. So
this, yeah, Spotify. I'm gonna blame. I'd have to. My phone is off.
It's okay.
But there's one artist that make me feel home. I can tell you, Bob Marley's my home. Like straight. Like any reggae music from the 70s, Toot and the Mighty Towers. That's home straight away. That's my grandma's house. There's just this texture and timbre, how would I say it, of that music. Something about it. Like, I'm not a reggae artist, but
there's a connection there.
There's a ground, there's a root that is so deep.
Do you think you would ever do anything reggae?
Yeah, I did.
He has.
I was going to say I've definitely had stuff.
Yeah. I told. What was the most prolific or teaching experience was working with Outlook Orchestra and David Rodigan. So with that, I did backing vocals. Thank you, Shah, for hooking me up with that. And that was like reggae with an orchestra celebrating David Rodigan's 40 years in reggae. For about 3 years, we did it on and off. Maxi Priest, Freddie McGregor, Julian Marley, Ali Campbell, loads, just reggae greats, and singing backing vocals for them, and then getting to do 2 songs as well with this orchestra. And it just schooled you, man. It just schooled me, and it was like an anthology of reggae music from the beginning, from the ska to the dancehall to the drum and bass.
Oh, it influenced everything.
Yeah.
Everything that came after it there's something that it owes, right?
Yeah. So, and more recently with a crew called Laid Black from Bristol, I've been working with them, and big up Bungie and the team. So I've been doing some recording with them as well. But when I first moved to Bristol, I've never had this before. Never. They invited me to a rehearsal. It came through a student of mine called Eloise. So they invited me, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's always a bit like, could be a bit awkward walking in. Walked in, like, yeah, cool. We're gonna run this song, like, you got some backing vocals, like, just sing along. So I just sang with them. Oh yeah, we got this tune as well. You wanna write something to it? Wrote something to it. I was like, this is crazy. This is an open, like, I've been living in London for all my life. I never had that here. In New Zealand, yeah, here for a band that's kind of audience, they're known in Bristol. They're like a Bristol staple. And they were just loving. And, that was like...
Yeah, and London is weird, isn't it? Why do you think that is in London? What do you think? It lacks that, doesn't it? It lacks that. Is it the size? Is it scale that's purely ruining that, do you think?
There's a lot of ego, man.
A lot of ego.
There's a lot of ego. I mean, I'm saying that there's not beautiful people in London. There is. London's my home.
Yeah, totally.
But I think a lot of people come here to make music from everywhere. Like, this is a mecca. Like, London is a mecca worldwide. London.
Yeah. The best music in the world has come out of London.
Yeah, probably more than anywhere I'm not saying like the States and all that, like New York and LA, but in terms of it being a small place, and I love it.
I mean, it's like a melting pot, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
culture.
Everybody's here. Everybody's here. So it's just, I don't know, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Music from London's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But I think it makes it competitive.
That's
right?
what I was going to come to. Yeah, it's competitive.
And even if you don't want to be competitive, you kind of have to be competitive.
To survive, to eat. But then, I suppose you get to your age, right, Kev, where you kind of lose those shackles, right? Does it matter less to you? Like, you seem to have you seem to have got to a place in your life where you're really content with, with your music therapy, your music, the streets. And it's kind of, you've worked out a balance. Or am I imagining that?
Would Kevin in his 20s be like, holy fuck, what happened?
Kevin, I honestly can say to you, I have not changed.
You haven't. I've known you a long time.
My fundamental like quality of what I want. There was an artist. I'm not going to say his name, and I love you. You're going to know who you are. But we were in an award ceremony, and he was like, "Oh yeah, well, I think he said something like to me, like, see you in the charts or." Like, and it felt a bit competitive, and I was like, "Bro, I'm not competing with you. We're not competing. I'm not competing. I'm not competing with you. I'm not competing with none of us here. I'm not competing with nobody. There ain't no. There's one Kevin Markshall. There's one Roma. There's one Port. There's one."
And I think it's really great when you get to that space, though, right? That there's almost like these shackles have come off, and that there's no need for. I don't know what the word is, but it's freeing in a way. It's when you lose. I've always hated competition. Really, I'm not a big. I find you get some of the worst traits of humanity in sometimes. I mean, some of the best.
My dad will say, I kind of like competition. I kind of like it.
Yeah, but I think
it gives you. There's a listen. I like a quiet. Like a friendly competition.
Friendly competition. Right. Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
I like the idea. Like we've done this where we've been out shooting in the same place at the same time. We'll split off for like 20-30 minutes. We'll come back, and you don't want to be the guy that's got no decent photos.
Okay.
You know, like if this guy fucking floors me, I don't mind having worse photos than him. But I don't want it to be embarrassing.
Yeah.
And that quiet competition, it drives me a little.
Okay, that's cool.
I think I agree. I think there's. I'm maybe talking about the horrible side.
The actual
the
disgusting industry
exist?
shit.
How do you exist in a competitive space? How do you exist?
Oh, this is good. This is getting. I love to hear your reflections on this. How do you exist?
Oh, I think it's about being yourself. Fundamentally, right? There's all these external factors that exist outside of your bubble, and you can control none of them.
But it takes a long time to get there, right?
Right, a long time.
It's a really interesting how I think probably most of the people you've spoken to on this podcast will have said something along the lines of, I had to get through this and this and that to get there, right? You have to kind of work out your path to the point of...
It's a lot of unlearning, right?
Yeah, accepting that maybe things are the way they are for a reason. There's like some ways that you can shape things, and
you haven't found your tribe yet.
Yeah, there's loads of things. But I think what was interesting with you, Kevin, over the years is I've noticed something about you where you're both scattered in a way that's very free, not so much like all over the place, but like willing to kind of spend time in different circles within the same week or whatever, if that's what you got to do. And at the same time, you're very single-minded. As in, like, I've noticed over the years, every few weeks or months that we talk about something big in life that's happened in yours or mine, right? Something has shifted about your vision on a specific element. And that's something you and I, we like to have those like sort of deep conversations with many years of friendship. But there is something about you where you're able to sort of unpack one thing and kind of do a bit of a dive.
You have to though, innit? Like, it's growth. Like I say, this competition thing is like, you have to change, you have to grow. You can't like I was in the rehearsal, I was humbled, man. They're talking about 1, 5, 3, 5, this chord, that chord. I'm like, yeah, I know some of that speak, but I just make music. I find the sound that I like, and that's it, and then I have to communicate that. And I was humbled. I felt insecure in moments. I was like, I need to know more musically, and would like to in terms of just music theory. I mean, I studied, I've got to uni, I've got to college, but I've always been the doing guy rather than I'm going to go in, which is why I respect this man, because he goes in, and I've learned that, and I've learned ways to do that again for people like Roma. Like, all right, the information's there. This age we're living in. You can
pick the bits that make sense.
Yeah.
But that's the bit of competition that I like. The bit where you look at that and you're like, oh, I feel like I could do better. And it drives you to develop yourself.
Yeah. I like people winning. I love people winning. And I think I couldn't do what I do without loving other people winning. like, because I'm involved in other things like streets. When we do a show, I'm so happy. Like to see Mike's at the forefront and it's his project. I'm happy to see my brother shine. You know, and I understand. I think.
But that's a lot of maturity though, Kevin. Because there are people out there, and we've all met them, who it's not enough for them to win. Other people have to lose.
Yeah, but you're part of that, ain't it? You're part of like, I think it depends on your mentality. Because
could it be defined by what better means to you?
Better, say that again?
Do you know what I mean? Could it be defined by what better means to you?
You have to dig a bit deeper for me.
Like, you know, when you say some people want to do better than others, so much so that they want others to fail, right?
Maybe that's there are people out there that want to be the best, but there are people also out there, like, and I'm going to tar all of you with the same brush as myself, where we want to be the best version of ourselves.
Yeah.
When we're not trying it's not like I want to be better than Paul. We're never going to be the same. Like, it's apples and oranges. They're both fruits, but whatever. Like, it's not the same thing.
You'll never be better than me.
You see, it's all about the perception of what better means.
He can try all he wants.
I think it's about finding your path. It's about finding your home and investing in that, like, and learning and taking for others. I've so learned. I learn all the time. I learn, like, look at this room. I come in here, I'm like, camera there, light there. Look at, you know. And it's the same in different spheres of performing. Like, I've learned work ethic. I've learned loads work ethic. How to organize your photos from. I can't compete with this man, but I can take from him and learn. You know, how to maybe go about something that I'm doing. It might not work. It might work, but growth. I want to grow. You know. And I feel like you can learn from a child, you can learn from an adult, you know, you can learn anywhere.
There's a certain level of maturity that it takes to be able to, like, hear an advice or a pointer and be like, wow, yes, I did not think of that. That makes things better. I would take that on. I think you have to be willing. You have to be, that's the idea of growth, right?
Right. I've definitely got it. Like, I know that there's a guy I shoot with a lot. His name's Matt. He's a beautiful man. Like, he's been on this podcast. He's incredible.
Yeah,
you're happy.
Sorry, better now.
and like, I, in the same way that I've definitely got some stuff in my head where I hear Roman's voice, particularly around post-production and that kind of stuff. But this guy, I've definitely taken photos with him, and he's like, buddy, have we got the fucking hands in or not? Like, why are we cutting the fucking hands off in the middle? Like, they're in or they're not. Feet are in or they're not. Ears are in or they're not. He's like, make a fucking decision. Like, give me the right crop. And I don't know, I still take photos to this day and I hear Matt's voice. Who was like your first, like, mentor when you were learning? What was the first instrument you picked? Was it singing right away?
Singing was first, yeah. My first,
And where was it?
My first mentor, or the first person who noticed I could sing was Miss Jones, and she was in primary school, and I was in the library, and my sister was in choir, and she was like, "Why are you sitting in the library? Why don't you come and just sing in the choir?" And I came and sung, and she was like, "Wow, you can sing." And then I got left, and then I guess it was school. A guy called John Mullen, was my mentor for years. Like, he was my music teacher. And I guess we became family. His son played guitar as well. So we started writing with each other, but he was instrumental in helping me, encouraging me singing, and then also getting into keyboards, then getting into music production.
So you must still hear that guy's voice. There must be stuff that you do to this day where you're like,
he's in my life, Mr. Mullen, man. John, he's fam, you know?
Yeah.
He's family.
Well, a bit of a father figure, no?
Yeah, I guess so. He's still in my life. And my other teachers as well, Rachel Bennett in a band called Ray, who from Whack Arts. Whack Arts was a massive part of my life.
What was Whack Arts? Tell me.
Oh, Whack Arts. I went there when I started going when I was 15, and it was based in Belsize Park. I think it was Belsize, not Belsize, kind of like Chalk Farm. And so it was a place that many people have come out with. So it was a weekend arts college, then became a place that did full-time courses. But they had 3 levels of singing. 3 levels of drama, 3 levels of dance, street dance, and jazz and contemporary, and more. They also had kind of like groups for neurodiverse young people as well, and we did trips on that. Through them, I started writing because I always wrote, so they embraced that and taught me technique. As I said, Rachel Bennett was one of my teachers who I work with now. Kevin Leo was one of my teachers. Julie Dexter, who now lives in Atlanta, was one of my teachers, and they all gave me the source.
Yeah.
Julie definitely was like, Kev, just be you. There's space for you. There's space for all of us. This is a big planet. I was taught this young. Like it was like, there's space for everybody, and everybody has a voice. Do you? That's what I was given, and that has stayed with me.
What a gift. What a gift.
It stayed with me.
What a gift to give someone.
Yeah. Yeah. My teachers, well, they're amazing artists as well. They're amazing artists. You know, if I'm a fan of anyone first, it's my teachers. Yeah.
Do you know what's kind of mind-blowing? Because you're doing this now with other young people.
Yeah.
You are going to be that person, Kevin. At some point, they're going to be sat round with a couple of old dickheads.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, this Kevin Mark Trout guy turned me onto this idea that there's a space for me.
There's a space for all of us. I think in any industry or anything, it's like there's a space, there's a voice, but it's like we get told that you can't have a voice. That you have to fall into this 9 to 5 thing. And I'm not saying this, I don't have to 5s, but most people are creative, you know, as children. But as you grow older, I think it gets beaten out of you. And I'm for anybody, whether you want to be a cook or even, I guess, even some 9 to 5 things are creative, like being a lawyer or being a nurse.
There's creativity.
Yeah, working in a nursery, you know, it's all great. It's how
Problem
you want to
solving,
move.
right?
Yeah.
But the problems we choose to solve are different, I think.
Probably, yeah, I'd agree with that.
Like, if you're a doctor, the problems you're choosing to solve are a little bit...
More life and death.
Well, they're more life and death, they're higher pressure for sure, but they're a different type of problem. Like the problem that Roman's tackling on a day-to-day basis is like a lot more scientific than the problem that I'm having to tackle on a day-to-day basis. And I think some people's minds lend themselves to like a more analytical or a more, I don't know what the right word is, because it's all creativity, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
What brought you guys into like wanting to create this? Like, I don't know. Like, what were your kind of journeys in terms of like, okay, we're here now. We're here now. You know, we're here in this thing.
It was exactly this, right? It was wanting to have conversations about the way that, because like I said, I kind of had a music start.
Yeah.
Like, music was more important to me than photography for a long time.
Like what? You said you were in a punk band earlier,
I was in a punk band, right?
Yeah.
And we were fucking awful, but we were doing a thing. And there are lessons that I learned in punk music, that kind of DIY aesthetic, that kind of like, there's no fucking money in it. No one really cares. So you kind of have to make it work for yourself. You have to make the right connections. You have to be on the scene.
Yeah.
You have to do all these different things. And there are lessons that I've taken from that apply just as much to photography as anything else.
Yeah.
And what we've learned over the years is we're talking to different people, like painters, like musicians, like directors.
Yeah.
And everybody, there's this like theme, there's this thread that runs through all different creative processes that actually connects us. It's like this really weird
thinking space,
right.
almost
like a lesson. Like you can learn as much from that I can apply to my own medium.
I just think that value
from Kevin as I could do from Paul.
Yes,
the value in creativity and what it does for your mental health, and how those spaces allow you to process the world and slow it down and think about it. I have conversations with like-minded individuals who may be on a wavelength and maybe not, but to have the conversation, for me, the conversation has been, it's almost, it's freeing in a way, right? You're having thoughts that you've thought for a long time that maybe you've never vocalized before, with somebody new who actually responds to that and says, yeah, actually I feel the same way. And I think that's an amazing thing, right? That we get, and the other thing maybe is that we get to speak to people that we wouldn't normally, in a normal world, we wouldn't, like if we weren't doing this, right? It gives us this access to allow us to reach out and say, hey, we're doing this.
To other people that are on the same journey. They're on a slightly different path, but they're on the same journey.
Yeah. And I think it's that constant learning, right? It's and that the idea of growth is it's not growth, is it? But it's
yeah, I guess like self-development, like I don't know.
I think through talking, through conversation, you open up parts of, like, sometimes I'm doing something and it'll be literally because I spoke to somebody 2 years ago and it sparked that tiny, like, I've never collaged before, but because we spoke to collage artists, it got me into it. Come on then.
I wanted to say something quickly.
Yeah.
What were you talking about just now?
Meditation.
Sorry. I was thinking, sometimes, how you have an issue of some sort, like you have a question or something you've been thinking about, you can't quite unlock it. Just the fact that you're sharing it with someone who you think can understand your predicament or whatnot, all of a sudden, through the process of explaining, you can get to some epiphany of some sort.
Some profound
and realize,
reframing of
by just taking the time to sort of put it out, trying to make sense of it. I did make sense of it. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of that in creating music or art or anything, and finding people who like the same sort of thing and want to talk, spend some time talking about that sort of thing. Because that's kind of that process of exploration that we all seek out beyond just what we do within ourselves, right? You go and you take pictures, you have a moment with yourself, maybe you write a song, maybe you play with a few chords, or you jam on something, like, and we've done that together.
Yeah, we have.
And there's other time where it's like a bit more about the sharing or a bit more about the perspective. Like, I think this sort of mixing and matching helps us really make sense of that process. I found very interesting for me over the years that I needed to know the tool in order to feel comfortable within the process and be able to focus on the process of creating rather than the process of how to get to the point of creating, because that was getting in the way, right? Whereas other people just get on with it. And that's why I think I approach things from a technical perspective first, so I can sort of get that out of the way. And I do find it interesting and all that. I love it, don't get me wrong, but it's also a bit of a bother. Like, I want to get that done and sorted.
But I think
and then I can
focus
on being the creative or the...
Do you think the grass is always greener? Do you think sometimes you're like, I wish I could loosen up a little bit? Or like...
We're talking about acceptance a lot today. This, right? I think there is this moment you know who you are. I think it's okay. Like, you can be who you are. It doesn't mean you don't want a better version of yourself. It doesn't mean that you can't explore the things that you'd like to change. So of course, like everyone, I'm sure, I've got things that I'd like to change or corners I'd like to run.
Because I have the exact same thing, right? Sometimes I look at stuff and I'm like, oh, I wish I could just fucking not have to be a bit more technical here, or I wish I could be more technical here. And you're forever chasing a thing that, like, you see somebody else that you admire and that you respect, and you try and emulate them, and you're like, oh, well, they know the tool really well. And then you think, maybe I should know the tool really well. And then you start doing that thing, and then you get a little bit further down that path, and you're like, oh, there's this other person that's all loose and free because they don't know the tool and they don't give a fuck. And I wish I could be more like that. And then there's this constant kind of, like you say, the unlearning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're somewhere in the middle, aren't you? You're good at some stuff and not so good at others, and we're all in some form or other version of that. Like, there are things that I'm rubbish at, and but
there's a lot of things you're rubbish at.
I know, right?
Let's talk about all the things Ray's rubbish.
Yes. Let's start with that.
This is really why we're here. This is an intervention.
You wanted to go another 15 minutes.
Oh,
funny. Take a lot more than 15
we'll
minutes.
be here all night, boys.
We will.
Honest to God. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
You're right, dude.
Yeah.
I like the unlearning. I think the unlearning thing is interesting. And I think that is really, like, paramount. Is like, I feel like I know less now, or there's more to learn than I was when I was younger. Definitely, I felt a bit more, my eyes weren't as big. But then I feel like, I don't know. Imperfection. There's one of our Tex, Baz, I think it is. I think it was Baz and another tech, I can't remember his name, but we spoke about limitations. And we spoke about like recording on a kind of hard track with like 8 channels, you know, versus Logic. And there's something about limitations. And also I was reminded about it by a track that I did with the Streets, Utopia. And it's like, start where you are, use what you have. You can't make utopia, do what you can. And it's like, it really, I think that resonated with me because it was like, use what you bloody have. Do you know what I mean?
It's really interesting though that
it ties in with the conversation with Matt, doesn't it?
Yeah, like limitations, how putting restrictions on yourself, and it's a theme, right? That we've talked about it.
We just literally, so Matt, the guy that you met as you came in, so Matt shoots on a really old camera, right? A Rolleiflex. You know the ones with like 2 lenses?
No, but yeah.
So he shoots with
like
this thing. Yeah,
box.
he has to look down through.
Oh yeah. Now you say box.
Yeah, so he does that, and he just shoots black and white film.
Yeah.
And he's got obviously it's got one fixed lens on it, so it always has a certain point of view.
Yeah.
You're always looking down on it. It's really difficult to do anything else.
Yeah.
And that limitation enables him to do the thing he does.
Mm.
And if he took away that limitation, he was saying that he can't imagine doing the thing without that tool.
Wow.
So it's the same as like you just being like, I'm only ever going to shoot. I'm only ever going to write on this 8-track.
Yeah. Cool.
But there's an important message here, and I think it is that by limiting yourself, by limiting the tools, you allow yourself to focus truly on one space, on one thing, right? And so you're
not spending time coveting like, oh, if only I had this microphone.
Yeah, exactly.
If only I had the Neve desk. Like, that's what I need. That'll give me the next thing. Like, you can just do the thing with what you have.
You can. We live in an age now where I feel like the people coming into this are blessed. Mm-hmm. You know, technology, £100 mic or interface is like great.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost it's industry standard, really. Like all the little things that you can do on your own. You know, not to mention the introduction of AI, whether you're into it or not. Like there's a lot you have to do as an artist, to be honest with you now. It's a lot more. But the tools are there. But also, I would say I definitely was in a stage at some point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy this. And when I get that, my world's gonna change.
Yeah.
Or even with having a practice of, okay, when I do this, everything's gonna change. You know, and I guess, I don't know, change, I'm more like it's internal and it's action based, or can you change? Can you appreciate and have gratitude for what you have first, and then use whatever you have to create whatever you want
to elevate that even more?
Yeah, and I think I'm more of that mentality now. Definitely, I think when I was younger, it was like bigger, better. You know, I'm now like, okay, this is where I am. Do what I can, and it will grow.
Yeah. Because I genuinely don't think, with most things, the audience can tell.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think they can tell if you've used the 8-track with the super expensive. I know how expensive reel-to-reel tape is. Yeah. It's wild, right? Mm. Like they can't tell if you're using reel-to-reel tape or if you're recording straight into something on the cheapest, crappiest microphone that you can find.
But it's the same thing that David Campney said, right? It's the same thing that if you've got a photograph of your mother who's passed, and you shot it with a digital camera,
or you shot your phone,
or you shot it on your phone. It doesn't matter. It's the photo that matters. It's the memory that matters, not the tool you use to make it.
Yeah,
and I think that's the powerful. That's like that keeps coming back in my mind. Like it resonates with me that.
Yeah,
because it is that, right? It is as simple as that. Like if you think about it, it's
a beautiful realization to have. Especially after you spent lots of money on stuff.
Yeah.
That actually the thing that anything you did that you liked wasn't down to the thing you used to do it. It was you.
No, but I think the stuff is also part of
the stuff is really fucking cool. The stuff is,
if there's a big difference between women and men, but I think men, generally speaking, anyway, we love stuff. We love
And listen, I love
toys
stuff.
and tools and
Gadgets
like,
and
Sort of.
tech and
I remember that conversation about you buying your camera. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what are
yeah,
you gonna
yeah.
get? You were like, well, since I have to get one,
Yeah.
you know, it's like,
Yeah.
might as well. I mean,
Yeah.
enjoy it and kind of. So I think that's part of the attraction, right?
Yeah.
But same for me in my field now with color grading, having like a rig that just runs.
Yeah.
It actually takes away the importance of the rig. Like you realize obviously how important it is when you run a business, but beyond that, for the reliability.
Yeah. With
But beyond that,
making
it's
money from
basically
the
that's
thing,
not
you need
really what matters. Essentially, is the work that you produce and the enjoyment you get out of it.
Isn't that the
the
weirdest
connections
thing,
you
though?
make? It's amazing.
Isn't that the
But I think
weirdest
it
thing?
is a journey, isn't it? It's like you
It is a
start
journey.
with part of the attraction is the stuff as well.
But the stuff, I think the deeper into the thing you get, the less is the stuff doesn't come from a like, oh, that's really sexy. The stuff comes from the fact, oh, this is going to save me so much time. It's going to change my life.
functional.
Right. That's the thing that becomes sexy. Like,
I think it could be any of it. It can be all
It
of
could be
it.
all of it.
but there is something to that. Like, we're sat in a room now, we're surrounded by like 5 or 6 cameras and a bunch of fairly
It's sexy in
okay
here.
mics.
Sexy in here.
It's sexy in here. But I think a lot of this has come from the fact that we've been doing this for like 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah, so it's not on a whim, right?
Right, yeah, it's taken a fucking age to get to this point, and we're going to look at this in 5 years' time and go like, what were we doing? Like, this could have been so much simpler with blah 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 blah. Like, I think a lot of this is when you're trying to do a thing to a professional standard, you're just trying to get the job done, and that's
Yeah.
like, I know that I bought this silly camera, right? But it enables me to get my job done faster.
Yeah.
Because the files that come out of it are really nice to use. The lens is nice and sharp. The files are massive. There's like, I can crop the shit out of stuff. And do you know what I mean? Like the attachment to it,
Yeah.
it's a nice object to
Yeah.
use, but the attachment to it is like a workflow thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like my Mac, I got the best Mac I could get, and you are gonna get the best sounds you can get. Like, and you are gonna. Like, I do. There's industry standard. Like, and I think you have to relate to. You have to, if you do want to move forward as a professional, you have to have an understanding of the different levels of.
There's like a minimum threshold,
Quality,
right?
yeah.
There's an entry point.
Yeah.
Like, of course, you can do stuff without the quality. Where once you get into the professional realm,
Yeah.
there's a certain quality expected. That's fair enough.
If I was going to make a
Standards.
film,
It's called a standard for a reason, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's
But once
Well,
you
is
get
it-
to that point, you can sprinkle the shit back in that is less reliable, that does give you those like imperfections. Like, I've got a couple of old tape echoes at home, and like they don't work 50% of the time. And then the 50% of the time they do work, there's like, it takes 15 minutes for it to warm up. It's not practical. Like, if I were making a living out of it like you are, it would be the fucking worst.
Yeah.
But it is cool. Like, you can have a little play with them and things happen. Like, you get these weird like unexpected stuff. And that can trigger an idea. But like, you need everything else around it to work. Because if nothing works,
I hear you on that.
that's a spice, right? You can sprinkle in.
yeah, because then it becomes friction and then it stops you doing, right?
Right.
And there's a fine line between it becoming friction.
But there are jobs where it's like a really big problem. Like in post-production, it is a really big problem.
Yeah,
Something that takes you 10 seconds each time more when you have 1,000 to do. You can't. You just,
Yeah,
it's just,
yeah.
you can't. It makes no sense. Or when you work on a film and you can't play the film in real time. Like, it is a really, really difficult position to be in. Like, I feel sorry for the newcomers who can't afford to have even just the basics. Now the basic Macs, they like do really, really well with editing and everything. Like, you get real time. It's the people who can't afford that when it's so readily available. I felt so bad for them.
Yeah, but you know, we were in that position once, and we were like making do with the shit tools, and then you get to a point where you can afford that because you've worked hard for it, and then it feels fucking great because you're like, oh, it just does the thing. Press the fucking
it's
play button,
especially
it goes.
true when it doesn't get in the way anymore of creating. There's like that minimum threshold that I think you want to get past. So if you are serious about something, yeah, there is often a little bit of spending on the camera or on a computer or both or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? But you don't actually need to go. It's hard to accept that you don't need to go all out.
yeah.
Oh,
some
yeah,
of us.
it is. It's so hard to
You
accept.
think like, where is
I need the best of this,
Yeah,
right? And
then
actually, you don't.
You end up overdoing it on some things and not doing it enough on others. And you correct along the way. And sometimes that's just what it takes, right?
Yeah, I think it's that way in everything. You know, I think it's that way in the lifestyles that we live, where we live. Maybe I've gone off a bit here, but, you know, some people will never leave London, you know, because of what it offers or the energy of it, whereas some people will, like myself. Or they want to be around a certain music scene because of a certain thing or around certain art. Going back to tech, I definitely feel like every 10 years I've had to invest just because of maybe bigger files or, you know, it's suddenly shutting down, like, or something goes. So I feel like every 10 years, for me anyway, there's been a necessity to keep in the game I have to spend. And I think it is about necessity. I think to any...
Well, even just to renew what you have, you need to spend the whole money again every roughly 10 years, depending on what it is. Yeah,
I think artists, get what you need. Get what you need to begin with. Anyone coming up, like, know what you need to do, and buy that. Buy the best you can.
But understand that the things you choose to buy, some of it will follow you for a career, right? So for you, like investing in decent mics, those decent mics are always going to be decent mics.
Yes.
The computer, it's a necessity, but it's got a finite period of time. It's disposable. It's like, it's going to wear out, right?
Yeah.
And I think understanding that when you get into anything is really important. Understanding that.
Listen to this, right? Pretty much the same story, but nearly 25 years ago, when I got into photography, I decided I was going to get something really nice, right? I was going to get an SLR, and I had a job, so I was working at Simmons at the time, and I thought, wow, what can I spend? I sort of came up with a number, which must have been like something like 2,500 or something, or $3,000, and I was like, that's it, that's a lot of money. I'm going to get all of the lenses I need, all of the best camera I can get, and all of that, and. My friend Sarah had a friend, David, who was this actor, singer, opera singer, who also on the side was a photographer. And I'd never heard him sing, but he was the most amazing photographer, right? And we sat down together one day, and he was like, so what are you going to buy? I was like, oh, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy this. I had like a long list, and he was like, Like, wow. He's like, you're doing it wrong, man. You need to get the best lenses you can afford, the stuff that's going to last. Your camera... it's literally a throwaway box. Yeah, it costs a lot of money, but you will see in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years, that's the first thing you will want to get rid of. Whereas a good lens, you'll keep for life, right? We are 23 years after or something like that. And I have the same lens in my bag. All of them. I still have them all, except for one that I lost.
That's another gift. It gave you
and it was
a gift.
I could not know how true it was at the time. It's just, I loved what he did. I respected the guy, right? I thought he was the friendliest, like, gentle giant kind of guy. It's just that it's really stayed with me. So I ended up having a friend going to New York. I found a way to buy the more expensive lenses in dollars at the time. You know, we would change euro in dollars, and it would be cheaper.
Back when they were $2 to a pound.
Yeah. Good days.
And then got them delivered to my friend in New York, and asked him to bring that back to France at the time when I was living in Paris, and went and bought whatever I could afford with the leftover money for the body, for the camera. And that's what it was. And I ended up with a relatively shitty camera, but I didn't care. I had amazing lenses and everything looked amazing. And it really stayed with me for life.
Yeah. You're making me feel like, and I want a mentor. I want an older mentor. I want someone in the game who's like been around for like longer to be like, yo, to give me that now, you know, because it's that insight on whatever it is, you know what I mean? To just be like, okay, this.
I love that. I love when I meet someone who's interesting and willing to share and have conversations. I find that the best. I feel like they're willing to kind of impart a little bit of their.
I think Paul did that for me, like real early.
For sure.
Really early on when I started speaking to him, he was like, buy books, buy all the photo books. Like you'll take more from photo books, and you don't need another new lens. You've got enough. It's fine. Buy books. And you're totally right.
I just think that just the just by looking and taking time with something, slowly absorbing it, being in the right frame of mind to absorb it and appreciate it. And even if you don't like it, still appreciate it. Like the effort that's gone in to make the thing. Because I think, it's quite easy to look at all those books on the shelf and think, oh yeah, okay, it's just a book. But if you think the effort and
there's a lesson in
time,
all of them though, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's like, I don't like it, you can at least figure out why you don't like it.
Yeah, and I really believe that there's value in just taking your time to wherever the art form, whether it's music, sculpture, photography.
Is it important to you? Sorry to ask, but is it important to you guys? Because I've got a follow-up question. That it's a physical form?
Yeah, I think it is, absolutely.
And do you feel like in music we're losing that a little bit because it's now pretty much digital?
Well, yeah. I think, it's been difficult for me. Like, I'd say, like, I used to love going into record stores and picking up a CD or vinyl and buying it just because of the cover sometimes. And also just opening it and having direct access to who was on it. And I think it's coming back, or it's changed, because it's difficult as independent artists to, have the
presence,
the cost of CD records. But now there's a company called Electric Stage. I can't remember what it's called, but you can basically print your vinyl online and it gets distributed around the world.
On demand. So
on demand.
They do a 1 copy or a 10 copy.
Yeah, on demand. So I've done that for my album. So it's changing, but I think, we need physicals. We need things.
I do it. I still listen to a lot of music. But when I find something I like, I will go out of my way. If I can find it on vinyl, I'm buying it. I just picked up the new Arlo Parks record. Fucking incredible.
Something I read yesterday about music, that on Spotify and Deezer, like, apparently now 40% of the music made on these things is made by AI.
I knew you were going to say that.
Right? Which is, like, if you think about that, right? If you think...
Is that real?
Yeah.
Is that real?
I believe it.
Yeah.
You believe it?
Yeah, I believe it as well. They did a really deep, like, even Spotify admitted, they're not hiding from the stats, like, but it's cheaper for Spotify. Like, if they fill a playlist with tracks made by...
I find it so
made by
sad.
them.
Yeah, exactly. Made by a robot that doesn't have to pay royalties.
I feel like it's so impressive, but at the same time, the second you find out that thing's made by somebody that isn't a person, it's whatever. It's just a cool trick. Yeah, it's just a cool trick. It's got no soul.
But you use the point, right? Use the point, and I think I agree with you in some respects all the way. But there's this thing, right, that I can play you. Imagine I played you 20 tracks, right? And you didn't know which was an artist and which was an AI, and you couldn't tell the difference, right? Your response to the music is only changed once you knew a computer made it, right? And I wonder, like photography, there's different parts of our process that we use,
But I listen to the record to see if I want to go and see that person live, to see whether or not I want to buy the vinyl. Like, it's. I get what you're saying. It's a technical exercise. Yeah, you can impress me with a computer that's just made some music.
But I think it could move you as well. I think that music could move you. That's the point. Yeah, that's the point.
But I don't think the only point of music or art is to move you. I think there is the whole, for me in my mind anyway, there's this two elements. There's the stuff that you have to get out anyway, right? And then you've got the exchange. You put it out, people put out. There's a human condition sort of element to it, right? And it has meaning. If you take away the meaning from it, it doesn't take away the craftsmanship.
Especially if it's somebody that, like Kevin, right? You're there, you're making this, you thought deeply about what home means to you, and now you've bared your soul for all to hear on a piece of plastic. Yeah. And I think that, sure, maybe AI music could move you for a second until someone breaks the illusion and they tell you that's not real, but it's a different thing to what Kevin's doing.
Yeah, but my worry is that we're at a point, right, that because we don't know the difference and we can't tell, right, that we're in this weird space in
And we're fickle. We'll just accept it. As a species, we'll just...
Yeah. Exactly.
It'll be convenience over anything.
Exactly that. That it's the bleed. It's the like the small incremental.
Yeah, it's the frog in.
Let's change a variable. Right. Imagine that the computer is feeling the emotions. Like it's suddenly become. I don't know. If there's anything special happening in that grey mush in our heads. Imagine it does feel, and maybe it feels it more acutely than we do because it's infinitely intelligent.
Have you seen Westworld?
Yeah.
Right, it's coming, man.
Yeah,
we are living. Maybe not in our lifetimes, but AI is going to keep evolving. I honestly believe at some point there's going to be a machine that can feel. In terms of the conversation we're having, I was so averse to AI, so averse, and I am in my underneath belly, but I also think like it's wonderful. It's wonderful, and I think that because as AI tracks I've listened to, that even on the way here, I was like, I love this track. But at the same time, what it's gonna do, I think, is gonna be people who just want to listen to music, and that's gonna be AI probably. Then there's gonna be humans who want to know more about the artist, or are looking for integrity, or looking for the feel, and are looking for the human behind it.
Right. Okay.
Just like tattoos, you can get an AI tattoo, but you're getting a tattoo from a man who lives up a mountain and goes wherever. You might have to travel for it a bit more, work for it. But the value of that, is going to be so much more, I think, than AI.
Yeah.
So I think if you're real and you're not if you're a real human and you're good at what you do and you're good at what you craft, there's a story. There's a story to all of us in this room. That cannot be AI. So I'm not worried about it taking over, because it's only going to take over some of the world, in some ways. And it's definitely given me ideas, in terms of, I'm going to try doing something like that. Or, it just gives you a different palette to play with in a way. Yeah, we can't escape AI.
I don't know. There's a couple of aspects that really bother me.
Tell me.
Well, the obvious one is that all of these AI models were trained on people's art. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not out of nowhere, it's out of somewhere, and that somewhere is essentially not theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's everyone's.
They didn't pay for it, right?
Right.
They just literally ripped everything off the internet.
And the story of the Miyazaki, who has done these amazing animation films, and then all of a sudden they come up with this filter, and you can turn any picture into a Miyazaki scene.
Mm-hmm.
And the poor guy's heart must have been shattered to think they think that's what it is. It's like it's just a look,
But I think
it's just an outfit that you put on, and that's what the whole thing is.
But the experience, right? The experience that this Miyazaki person, that their whole life led up to them painting out every frame, and that's what you're investing into. You're investing into
the craft,
that person's life
that's why
up
I'm
until
saying
that point.
I've got an element of I'm disappointed. There's an element of disappointment and sadness when I think about those things that were used to make AI. What is going to then flood the market?
How deep do we want to go here? How deep do you want to go? Because the reality of it is that's already happening.
Yeah.
Of course it is already happening.
AI is present. AI is present, and AI is really
in the room,
a representation of capitalism or an idea or using a certain cultural base to monetize it and make it become something else, or stripping it or copying something else and bringing for money, or for convenience. And that's music. That's what we've done over the ages. Music was used for religious practices and cultural exchanges and messages sent from this, that, the other.
It's one of the rare things, art and music in particular.
And art, it's
one of
imagery.
The only things that we do for the sake of doing.
But it's not that anymore. And AI is another representation of that. And so I don't know. We're already using each other. We're already taking from each other. At a fundamental level,
replicating,
copying, or not giving homage to where something actually comes from,
the origins of it. Right?
Yeah, but there's going to be people like us who are artists and community who are going to be like, yo, that's a picture from here and there and there, and this is worth this. You know, art sells. Art's not gonna not sell. Like,
I don't have a problem with the money.
Yeah.
I think, you know, you need to make a living. If you're an artist, you need to get paid for your art in some form or another, and that's a conversation maybe about.
But is that what you're trying to say,
professional, not non-professional aspect? But for me, with AI, there's an element of like stolen experience kind of thing. Like, it's not really coming from a place that is any more than just the summary of all experiences, if that makes sense. And so then obviously is going to be pre-formatted for people to fit it within people's tastes. Like, for me, it's reversed. Like, we're not creating the tastes anymore. We're sort of testing out like lab rats what works,
and then just creating the most mundane average version of the thing.
What sells, and whatever sells, you're going to hear more of that, and we're going to be very single-minded. There's no more interesting concepts and disagreements. And I mean, I'm going a bit further, but you know what I mean. There's an element of like letting go of our own free will and our ability to think for ourselves and disagree and like different things. And how do you like? There's probably so much pressure for young artists to create things that like are going to be liked rather than create things that are going to be meaningful. And
if everybody's using the same AI, that we homogenize art, that we homogenize music.
That's what I mean.
That everything sounds the same, looks the
everything's
same,
equalized.
the same. There's no individuals. We're just the
I'm
machine.
telling you, we're already there.
Yeah,
we were there 20 years ago.
Yeah,
we were there. You know, I went into a record label. They told me, and this is me spilling beans. It's like they told me that I should sound out of the streets. They told me I should have a certain color.
Well, they started
on my band. They told me I should be in certain magazines. They told me I should be played on certain radio stations.
When you were first signed, that
when I was first signed, but this is part of the industry. We already have.
But you know, the crazy thing, right, is if that was the view you're taking, then the streets would never have happened. Nothing sounded like the fucking streets before the streets.
That's Mike. Like, that was.
But do you know what I'm saying? If somebody had said that, if somebody had said that to Mike,
yes,
whatever the thing was before,
yes,
then we wouldn't have had the thing that they're telling you to do.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole like. I'll make it really good. Mike is the streets, you know, in terms of that. But yeah, I think points of and that's what you've hit on something that what makes him special. He is him. He's taking the amalgamation, the combinations of what exists and presented it with his voice. People love it and they hate it, and people are in the middle. But it's him.
How much of what we see of Mike in the media is like? How does his outside image appear to his inside image? Are they similar? Is he a similar man, or does he become alive when he's in front of a camera? What's the like? Is that?
I think he's very much him.
Yeah.
Although I don't really pay attention. I've never really paid attention to media. So he's very much him. He's human. He's a down to earth man. To be real with you, he's quite a down to earth man.
He sounds like a down to earth man. Is he a London born and bred? Is he?
He's from Brum. He's from Birmingham.
Interesting. Do you think we can ever get him on you? Do you reckon we're going to put you under pressure now?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be the guy. I know you'd have to contact his management.
Yeah.
But that would be the way, and it would be. He doesn't do press, really.
He doesn't do. But this isn't press, is it? This is like tell him this is a deep philosophical chat.
I would do that, but he doesn't really. He doesn't.
Yeah, I've never seen much press. That's true.
It's been like the last couple of years. He's done a couple interviews, but he's not really he's not really that guy.
He seems like the kind of guy he's just being, and he's been doing it since the beginning. He's just been vulnerable. He's just been himself, and that has to be a really fucking hard thing to do. It's just I mean, you said that you had mentors that kind of taught you to do that.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning. But it's a really tough thing just to be like, do you know what? Some people are going to fucking hate me, and I don't give a shit. I'm just going to do the thing. That's like...
I've got to ask you about the writing process. Does he write all of his own stuff, or does he collaborate? What's kind of... how does the street music get written?
He writes a bunch of it. He writes all of it really to my, like, over the years or whatever, and he brings us in to do bits.
Because I find him lyrically amazing, right?
Yeah.
He's like, he does something, for me anyway.
I would give him his flowers, you know? I would give him his flowers. As a creative, he is probably one of the best to ever do it for me, because I've seen him stick to his. Firstly, like when there was the resurgence of the streets, I saw it online first, and I was so happy because I hadn't had the call yet. I was so happy that this man had taken 10 years out and had come back to do this thing, and I'm so happy to this day that he does that, because he deserves to be propelled. He deserves, as far as I'm concerned, like what he captured was the imagination of what was happening at that time in a way that, you know, for me was palatable, was British. You know, we're not, there's other MCs, there's Rodney P, there's Twang, there's Roots Maneuver, there's a whole movement, you know, of people, probably people I don't even know about, but for my generation, when I heard Has It Come to This, I wasn't even involved yet. And I was like, yeah, I dig that. Because I dig UK. I like Omar. You know, I like Misha Paris. I love
Omar.
I like the voices from here. And I'm really excited. Because back then, I mean, there's other bands and stuff that have come before. And but for me, there wasn't, he captured the imagination of that. And he still is. And his work ethic is crazy, bro. His work ethic is crazy. He shows how to work. He's always working. He's always working. His mind's always going. He's always creative.
It sounds like that kind of guy. You know, like that whole adage, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Like he's doing this regardless of, if he was getting no airtime for any of this, I guarantee the dude would still be doing it, right?
Maybe, you know, yes. Again, there's certain things that I don't know, because even when you ask, like, what is a man like, or how does a man feel? How does a man feel? How does a man feel when you there's a lot when you have to every day be front facing, or you got people coming up to you in the street, or you got people who think ideas of you. Everyone's
built an image of everybody else around them in their heads, and you're never going to be that close, right? It's a very flat image.
Yeah, even my words are a projection of that, because what I see is one thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So, I'm a complex beast, right? Of multitudes.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
So like, I can say to you that it's grounded. I can say to you that there's not really much hierarchy between us. We all hang, we all go to dinner, we all meet, we're all, there's no bad vibes, there's no ego vibes in our camp at all.
What's Mike taught you?
Taught me.
Has he taught you anything? Have you learned anything from Mike?
Probably more than I would ever know.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
You know, probably more than what I ever know, because when you exist alongside someone, or you exist in something, you don't really understand it until many years after. Taught me about work ethic. Taught me about literally. Came to my place and we did some filming. So again, using what you have. He uses what he has, you know, to create. And that's probably the most valuable thing, is to see him move, you know, and it's changed over the years. You know, we have an MD now, you know, there's a band, there's a lot more trust amongst us to do stuff. So to let go to many things, many things. I can't even probably articulate.
I just want to switch gears a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to fast forward. It's the 15th of May.
Yeah.
Home's out.
Yeah.
What's happening in your life?
What's happening in my life? It will be preparing for the launch. Probably some videos released around that time. And then it'll be the launch, which will be a surprise. Because will it be 5 people? Will it be 20 people? Will it be 30? Will it be 40? How much will it be? But I'm at peace with that. And then it will be a week after that, we'll be getting ready to go on tour.
How long's the tour?
We're out all of June. We're doing a show in Shepherd's Bush at the front end of that.
Is that home for you?
Yeah, Shepherd's Bush is home in some ways. Yeah,
like musically, is that
musically
for your solo stuff?
Yeah, I guess it's home.
You're a man with many hometowns, right?
Yeah, I mean, London is home, man. I come home to, like, I've been back from Australia like 2 weeks now, but this is the first. Yesterday or Saturday was the first day I was like, okay, I'm back.
Okay.
And that's like going to my mother's, going when my father lived, connecting with a few friends, coming here, seeing Roma, you know. Like, London is forever my home. I love London. I love and I hate London. I love London. Like, you don't realize how much of a cultural mecca this place is. You know, like being in London, being in Australia, being in New Zealand, being in different parts of the UK.
But also, when you're in London, you're in London. Like
You're in London.
You go. He's always out and about for work, for events, for gigs. Like you actually experience London more. I can say more than us. Although
I do less now. I go to less now. I'm very much a homebody, and if I'm going, it's because I love you. I love you, and I'm coming because I love you.
But you're looking forward to going home.
Yeah, and I need to see you, you know, and that's, I probably need to go to more things, but I'm only going to go to things that I love, you know, all friends that I can support. And I'm also very much like, I need to take care of myself. You know, I need to rest. I've just been away for practically all of this year. I need to be at home. I need to recuperate.
Well, listen, that makes me appreciate you turning up today even more, Kevin. Like, thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, Kev.
Let's wrap it up.
Shout out
to
finish. Oh yeah, all right. So, is there somebody that you've been enjoying recently that maybe isn't getting the flowers they deserve, that maybe you just want to shout out?
Two.
For it.
I went to a gig a couple of weeks. I think it was the second day after I got back. A band that apparently I've been around for a while, and I didn't know they were from Newport, because I think the bass player Wayne knows one of their members. A band called Skindred.
Okay. Oh shit, Skindred.
Skindred from Newport.
I've been listening to Skindred for years.
Yeah, I didn't know about them properly until my girlfriend played them to me, and they're from Newport. And we went and saw them in Bristol, and vocalist Benji, bad boy Benji, from dancehall to, I don't even know what you call it.
What was his old band called? Is that Dub Wars?
I'm not sure, you know, like this is the first I saw, but he is like legend. I've seen
Skindred live a lot of times, and they are fucking incredible.
What are we talking musically? What are we like?
Everything. It's just throw it all in a pot. It's like metal,
dancehall,
it's reggae,
to metal.
It's everything.
Yeah,
but their live shows are insane.
Yeah, he as a vocalist, like I can't. To the one go on in a minute, you know what I mean? From that range to the song to like, and the energy, they should be like, they are. I mean, they're doing Alexander Palace, but they should be known. That is royalty for me. Like Roots Maneuver as well. Like I mean, he's known, but again, like that man is like royalty. These people are like.
What's the name of the jazz band that broke out when the Mercury last year?
Ezra Collective.
Yes.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, do you like them?
I do like them. I like the resurgence of British jazz, and jazz fusion. Been around some of them players, like some of the players that are part of that scene were in Outlook Orchestra, so you've seen them play. So yeah, I mean, I feel like British music is in a good place.
Yeah.
With you in it, Kevin. Definitely.
What a beautiful place to finish. Thank you. Go listen to Home.
Go listen to Home.
Thank you.
Follow Kevin. Buy his album.
Buy it.
On vinyl.
On vinyl, yeah.
I mean, stream it, but like also go buy it. You need the physical copy. It's a different thing. And we'll catch you again next week. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Love to all of these people in this room. This is beautiful.
Love, boys.
Yeah.